Hey everybody, welcome to Team Call. Oh man, I don't have my watch. Today is April 3rd. Yes, okay, it's April 3rd. This is Team Call. This is the blended Team Call, so I don't even know what to call it anymore. Um, okay, what I wanted to talk about today is something that I feel like everybody struggles with, and everybody's always trying to find a better way to do it. And this is the process. I want to walk you guys through my process of how I add new friends, connect with people, and turn that into an invite. Because this is like so I've been listening to this book called The One Thing. It's by Gary Keller, and I'm loving it. It's one of those books that I'm probably going to listen to every couple of months, if not immediately again after I finish listening to it, because there's so much in it. And he talks about, so there's this principle called the Pareto principle, which basically means that 20% of your activities will dictate 80% of your results. And you just have to really narrow in on what those one or two activities or things are in either your business or your life or whatever you're trying to find success in. And for me, I've identified that, just listening to the book and thinking about this over the last couple of days, is the people aspect, like the interaction with people. And I'm kind of like, for now, lumping all that together. So connecting with people and forming really strong relationships with people, making sure I'm adding the right people who are my tribe, and make sure that I'm, connecting with people, interacting with them so that I can find and make those connections. And then finally inviting them, and then continuing that relationship and not letting that relationship like fall off after I get a sign up from them. So I want to walk you through what I've been doing. And some of you, I've learned some of this from some of you. So please jump in when I get to, where you excel at this. Because this is just kind of a conglomeration of everything that I've learned. I mean, obviously, this is not all my stuff. I'm not the one who created all of this, but this is just what's working for me right now. And I'm sure, over time this will change. So the first step is adding people to your social network. So whatever the network happens to be, whether you're on Instagram, whether you're on Facebook, whether you have a Facebook-like page, or you promote on Pinterest, or you have a blog, or whatever it is, you want to attract people who are your tribe, who resonate with you and who relate to you. And so a really great way to do that is to get into different groups based on your interests. So the groups that I'm in are like two main groups that I'm in right now are mommies groups, and I've got two Australian cattle dog groups. And so I'm in a cattle dog group as well. And, because frankly, I feel like having Australian cattle dogs is like having kids, because they're so weird. You need all the support you can get. So the people who are in there, it's crazy. They are so my people. It's awesome. So you just have to kind of, figure out what niche you have so that you can relate to people and you can find those groups. And so it took me a long time to figure out the cattle dog one for some reason. But for me, I used to ride horses all the time, and I find that there's a ton of people in there who also ride horses. And so I have multiple ways of connecting with these people. So go into groups, be active in the groups. Don't just go in there and start adding people. Go in there, interact on posts, post your own posts, connect and interact with the people who comment on your posts, basically be a presence in there and add value in the group. Then once people start commenting on your post, start up conversations in the comments and then add them. And over time, you will start to get people who are friends with each other, who you're starting to add. And then you can go in and you can look at friends of friends, and you'll see all these people who are in this group, and they have, friends in common. 2 or 3 or 5 or 10 people have friends in common, and you can start adding friends of friends. And so I learned this from Amber, who's a pro at adding people. But so then the other thing is I've got a community of friends from high school. And so that's really where I've added a ton of my friends, but I'm kind of finding they're not always my tribe. There's a lot of, I grew up in this super hippie dippy town, and all of these people are way into tree hugging life. and that's great, but it's not totally me anymore. So I can add a lot of friends there, and occasionally I'll find somebody, but it doesn't always resonate deeply with my tribe. So groups are really a great way to go about it. And then again, like as you start to add more people from these groups, you can go in and do the friends of friends, and add people that way. So then once you have, as you're growing your social network, and making sure that you're adding people who are your tribe and not just people who are, not your tribe and who just kind of are like random people. The next thing to do is you want to go in and start interacting on their page. So step 1 is add them. Step 2 is interact on their page. And so if you're in Melissa's ABC group, that's where this comes in. You go in and you comment on their most recent posts, 1 or 2, however often their name comes around, whether you do it like you start at A and you work your way through, or you're following Melissa's, sequence as she goes through the group. Like, make sure that you comment on as many people's pages so that all of these people see your posts and they see that you are interested in them, because that's what excites people. Like, they don't necessarily care about you. Like, yeah, they think it's cool and that's why they get on social media, but it makes people feel good when you go to their page and you comment on something that they think is important, because, they've posted it. So they obviously think it's important. And for you to go in and comment, they'll be like, oh, somebody thought that was interesting. And they're like, oh, awesome. Yay. So then you go in and you comment, and then they are going to start seeing your posts. So this is twofold. You make them feel good. You also start showing up in their newsfeed. Then after a while, as you commented on their posts, send them a private message. And this is not Beachbody. This is, hey, how are you? Like, I saw the picture of your dog. He's gorgeous. What kind of dog do you have? Or, oh my God, I love your hair. Like, I don't know, whatever it happens to be. Comment on something or send them a message about something not Beachbody related. All you're doing right now is starting a conversation and creating, common interests, and, showing them that you're interesting, you're interested, making sure that they feel, I don't know, like comfortable with you. Because the last thing you want to do is, after you spend all this time like going through and adding people and commenting, you don't want to like come out of the gate and invite them to something, because that's like a huge red flag and people are like, whoa, who the heck is this girl? So, or guy. So don't do that. Just start the conversation and find out where they are in their life. Like, maybe they're a mom, maybe they're, struggling because they have 2 kids under the age of 5 at home and they're tearing their hair out and they have no time to work out. Find out whatever need it is. Like, you can guide the conversation towards health and fitness, but sometimes it just goes there naturally, because they're like, oh, what do you do? And you're like, oh, well, here I am, a health and fitness coach. And then you can start that conversation that way. Or you can just, bring it up, Then comes the transition. This is where you transition from having a conversation to finding out what their needs are, and then somehow seeing how you can meet that need with something that we offer. So this is where the invite comes in. And sometimes it's awkward and sometimes it's not. If it's super awkward, don't force it, because that's uncomfortable and people kind of run away. But if you feel like it is appropriate, so like something that's been happening a lot with me, like I will reconnect with people from high school or whatever, and they'll be like, oh, what are you doing now? And I'm like, oh, I'm a health and fitness coach. And they're like, oh man, like spring break or summer vacation, or, whatever it happens to be, they're like, oh, I need to get back into something. And then I can go, oh, hey, well, I run these accountability groups, blah, 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 and move on from there. And then you get into the invitation. But if it is not something that just naturally comes up, like, this is when I start, like, if there's somebody I see that I kind of like, oh, that person would be awesome, I would love to get that person in an accountability group. They seem like really like my person, my kind of person, my tribe. Then I start kind of like watching their posts, and I feel like, 8 or 9 times out of 10, somebody's going to post something about like health and fitness, or, a meme about like they don't like working out, or they just want to be skinny, but they don't want to do the work. And then I come in and I'd be like, hey, I saw your post and I wanted to see if you'd be interested. And it's kind of an in, because a lot of, yes, Amber.
Real quick, I just wanted to add something that I've been doing recently along the lines of what Alana's talking about is you can start a health and fitness conversation with somebody without hitting them with Beachbody out of the gate. So a lot of what the 80-day obsession diet is kind of geared towards is what other diets refer to as counting macros. So it's not the exact same thing, but it's very close. So a couple of the conversations that I've had with people are just dietary suggestions or workout suggestions without bringing up Beachbody at all. So that way, when you start to have more of the conversation of nutrition or what workouts do you love? Oh, you like doing yoga. I like doing yoga, whatever. The conversation more naturally goes into like, oh, hey, what workout are you doing? And then I say, you know, hey, I'm doing 80-day obsession. It's, you know, Beachbody program. I absolutely love it or whatever. But then they don't feel like you're like hitting them with that like super salesy thing right from the gate. Whereas you're giving them something of value by, hey, you know, I heard that you're struggling with the keto diet. Have you ever tried, you know, a diet that's more geared towards like your exercise program or whatever, something that, you know, fits like a key in a lock, you know, in a lock. And then, you know, casually get to the point of talking about Beachbody rather than just kind of like, you know, slamming it in their face.
That's an excellent point. Because yeah, I mean, you want to ease people in. Like, people are really skittish about, you know, and it's not, you know, it may be because there are coaches out there who are really, you know, aggressive. Like, I was just talking to a girl the other day and she said, so she's hilarious. She has a French bulldog, and her French bulldog, she has an Instagram account for her bulldog. Her bulldog has like something like 2,000 followers or something ridiculous. And she said that she gets approached by people all the time to promote from her page. Like, and a lot of it is network marketers. And so she and I were talking, and she's like, you know, I have a bad taste in my mouth. And I'm like, I'm so super sorry to hear that, because, you know, that's not what I do. Cause I'd invited her because, you know, she was, whatever the conversation was, you know, she's a new mom and she's, you know, doesn't have time to do anything. And so I'd invited her to just, you know, kind of like the free group, that isn't even like the fitness one. And she's like, I'm really not interested. She's like, this is really not my thing. Like, I have no desire at all. She's like, and not to be rude, but like, I don't really know you. I don't know what your intentions are. And I'm not interested in, you know, being, you know, I don't want you to ask me to be in your downline. Like, she was like, apparently she's just been like, everybody asks this girl. She's like, I don't know, maybe it's because like, I'm really, you know, honest with my, you know, posts and the things I do, and because my dog has a lot of followers, but like, I'm just not interested. And I'm like, dude, I get it. Like, I understand. So, you know, and she and I, like, we still have a really good relationship. You know, obviously I'm not going to be asking her anytime soon, but she likes and she comments on a lot of my health and fitness posts. So maybe in time. But with that being said, we don't want to be those kind of people who go after people. And so to make sure that we're kind of easing into things and making sure that we're being respectful and coming to people with with a solution for their problems. That's what our job is. Our job is not to grow our downline. Our job is not to, you know, recruit. Our job is to help people meet and fulfill a need that they have. So that's, I feel like that's kind of it in a nutshell. And then, you know, of course, this goes into like, once you do get people in your groups, like, don't forget about them. Don't forget to follow up. Don't forget to, you know, keep doing all of these things. Like, I almost feel like it gets a little bit disjointed, because you have the people you're adding, and then like, that's one area. And then you have, you know, the people that you're talking to, and that's an area. And then you have the people that are in your groups, but aren't your customers, and that's another area. And then you have people who are your customers, but, you know, they're not super active and you don't talk to them all the time, and like that's another area. And you have people who are your coaches, and it's like we need to make this all just one big smooth transition and continue to follow up with people and continue to interact at the same level no matter where they are in our, I don't know, funnel or whatever you call it, organization. Whatever level they're at, we need to continue to give them that same level of support as we did when we were talking to them about getting them started, because it doesn't end when we get them in a group, and it doesn't end when we sell them something and they become a customer. It doesn't end, period. Like they are always our customer. We are always their coach. We always need to be there to follow up with them. So, soapbox, stepping off. Anybody have anything to add?
Christina, you had a really good tip in our March Madness group chat today about Instagram.
Oh, yeah. So, basically, like, I see a lot of people, like, they'll just, like, post that they're going to the gym, or, like, that one day that they eat a little extra healthy, they'll post their meal or something like that. So, honestly, like, what I just do is, like, if it's on their story, I'll, like, swipe and be like, yes, get it, or, like, oh my God, that's amazing, you know, like simple stuff like that, or even, you know, on their post, and then 90% of the time they'll give, like, that'll start the conversation going, and then it turns into, oh, I see you've been working out, this and that, and I'm like, oh yeah, do an 80-day obsession, and then like they're like, oh yeah, my nutrition's not 100%, or like, oh yeah, or like I'll say, oh yeah, when I used to go to the gym, like I would go for a certain, you know, few months or something, and then I'd stop, and then I'd go again, you know, like, but now I'm more consistent. So then like they'll say, oh yeah, I'm not 100% consistent, and then I'm like, oh, well, I have accountability groups. Then they're like, oh really, that sounds great. So like I did that the other day, actually, like yesterday. This one girl that went to my high school, she's like a year younger, and we started talking about like how people our age, you know, like they're not consistent, but they try, but then they fail. And then she actually said how she was possibly interested in 80-day obsession because of like the set schedule with it. And I actually sent her like the clean week sample, and she actually told me, she's like, oh, I have a friend who she's vegan and she's into the fitness and stuff like that, so I'm gonna send her the link as well. So I sent, you know, the 2 links, but like just like the little things, like having them see like, oh, someone's watching me, oh, someone sees that I'm trying, you know, like that sparks that little comment, and a lot of them get the feedback and all, and then it turns into, oh, well, you're so inspiring. And then she even said too, like how one day she didn't feel like going, and then she saw my post and she went to the gym and, you know, pushed herself. So like honestly, like you really don't know who's watching, because I only started following her like the other day or something like that. So like just like those little things definitely help. And then like you said too, you can't forget about the people who told you no, because like I also had a family member that she told me like no, and then like now she just found out she's pregnant with her 3rd, but it's still like hush hush. But she's like, oh, I had so many problems with my last pregnancy, like I need to stay healthy and stuff like that too. So like she's looking into it, but then the money aspect comes up. Oh, well, what about, you know, the coaching opportunity? Do you want, you know, this and that? Like you have to honestly give people like all their options. Like, oh, I don't know if I could do a shake every day. Okay, well, you don't have to. You could just do the workouts, and there's some that are only half hour, you know, a day. Like I just want to like vomit Beachbody on everybody. That's how much I love it so much.
That's awesome. That's a great idea, Christina. And that kind of goes back to like people want to be noticed. They want to know that somebody is not necessarily watching them, but somebody is there to support them, and somebody, notices when they do something good and something that they feel good about. So, definitely like keep up with people. And it's great to have so many, people on my friends list on Facebook, but at the same time, it's like I feel bad because I don't get to everybody all the time, and I don't see what everybody's doing all the time. It's like I need a little army of like people to go around and like comment.
I have so said that to Jeremy in the past. Like, it sounds awful, but I'm like, I need an intern to maintain my acquaintances. Like, it sounds awful. Like, but sometimes I want to go through and like comment like, go girl, and like, oh my God, your kids are so cute, and yay, whatever, like just all these comments, and there's like not enough time to comment on everyone. And I know that's actually not genuine, but doing that way. But it certainly has crossed my mind. If there was multiples of me and I could have a little comment assistant, like, geez.
Absolutely. I would love to have a little, I don't know. I just need I need a clone who can like legitimately be me, and like I would just dedicate them to just like keeping up relationships.
If we could just not have to sleep,
right.
That's all.
That would be nice.
I mean, it's not like I do that anyway, because you saw, Amy, how many times am I sending messages like 3, 4 in the morning, like, oh, I just watched this training video.
She does. She's always messaging in the middle of the night, and then I reply when I get up in the morning at 4:30. And she's like, hey. I'm like, what are you doing?
Because honestly, like the way, number one, this is, like I said, we went over this. Like, this is my main job and what I do. And it's like I just get so caught up in it. And it's just like my mind just keeps going beach body, beach body, beach body. And like I just know that I could constantly improve so many things. So if I know I'm laying down and my mind's just running and I'm not sleeping anyway, might as well be effective for it. And then like my dad, he'll leave for work like 3, 4 in the morning. And he's like, Chris, go to bed. And I'm like, but why? Like, I don't have to be up, like, because hello, I set my own schedule. I don't have, kids or anything right now. So if I want to sleep during the day, I can, even though that's when I should be connecting with people, but get in there.
Yeah, because the problem is, most people have their alerts turned off for Messenger, but I have definitely accidentally woken up some people because I message when I get up at like 4:30, and I'll just be clicking through, and someone wrote back one time, all right, well, I'll write back to you in the morning. Like, I'm going to go back to sleep. And I was like, oh my God.
I had that happen to me too. Actually, she got like super pissed about it. And I'm like, whoa, sorry. Cause like she's on the West Coast, and it was like, I don't know, it was like 6 or 7 in the morning here. And she actually said to me, she's like, bitch, it's 5 a.m. And I'm like,
your face, Alana. I don't know. Like, I guess I shut off my Messenger at night.
I did too. I assumed everybody else did too.
Well, you know what it is too? I guess because, I mean, I don't mean this in offense to anyone, but like, since I'm more on the younger 20 side, some people are up too. So sometimes I'll be prepping. Sometimes like I'll be, getting ready to go to bed. Okay, we're going to go to sleep. And then someone sends me a message like 1 in the morning about Beachbody. And I'm like, oh, well, great. Like, not that it's like urgent, but it's just so happens that I'm up. So we're conversating. Next thing I know, it's like 2 in the morning.
Yeah.
But it's like I'm helping them. So it's like half and half. I need to figure myself out a little bit, but I'm getting there.
I'd say early on in the business, I used to have this like almost compulsion that I felt like I had to respond to every message immediately. And it was really almost unattainable and non-sustainable too. Like, and it would bother me if I had any unread messages. But what I've found to be a good practice for me is I actually try not to open them, because then the person can see that I haven't read it yet. I'm not ignoring them. So I just, I look at the little preview, and if I can tell like, oh, they're going to continue this talk, I'll wait till I have the time to dedicate it. I used to open it, and I used to like write back, oh, I'll get back to you later. Like, that's not helpful. I should have just left it and opened it later because the world actually continues to go on, and they don't mind, they don't mind waiting a couple hours. I wouldn't make them wait weeks,
Yeah.
but you have
That's
to respond.
that's one thing like I'm improving myself on, like not, jumping on it right away. But then again, like those little notifications like Instagram 7 or Facebook, like those bother me. But I'm getting there, and like I'm getting better, I would say, with figuring out like my time management too, because on the weekends I go by my boyfriend because he moved out to Long Island. So like he would constantly tell me like, get off your phone. So like as I'm in the bathroom, I'm like but
Yes.
but it's just so like I am getting better with that, because I don't know if you all in Rank the Bank, but one of them made a video like, if like your marriage or, whatever is struggling and needs your attention, okay, then give it that attention. So like I really took that back and be like, okay, even though I'm obsessed, it doesn't have to show that I'm obsessed. Like,
Yeah.
but it's hard.
No, it's true.
I love it.
I just actually thought of something I saw in like a training video one time that contradicts what I just said, actually, about how opening messages and you can see that you read it. One of the trainings said you can also do the opposite and intentionally create a sense of urgency. Like if you're doing like a challenge group sign up and you have someone asking questions, you can say something like, oh, well, what are your fitness goals? Let me see if you're a good fit. And then they write back, and then you open their message, and then you intentionally don't reply for like an hour. And then, I don't know, I'm trying to remember who said it. I don't remember, but the person was saying like, then it makes it seem like, oh, I'm thinking about, let's see if this is a good fit you. And then people always want what they can't have. So if they see you open their message, I don't know. I haven't really tried it to see how effective it is, but it's something to.
But I would feel offended because like if someone I know, like to say for example, like my boyfriend's sister, if I see she opened my thing and doesn't answer me, I'm like, like what do you want? So I feel like that could go like back and forth kind of.
I think it depends. Like I've talked to some coaches who are literally have told people to pound sand if they're not willing to commit to like a 3-month sign up. And that's not really my style, but they're like, listen, if you can't even say that like you can commit to your nutrition and your fitness for like 21-day fix or a 3-month like 8-day obsession or whatever, like some coaches are like, nah, I think I'm going to work with people who are like ready to do this and ready to make a change. Again, it's just a different perspective. And I think in the end, you have to be you and genuine, because that might work for that coach because she's like a little bit like more spunky or rough around the edge, and she's going to attract that tribe. And if, I never turn someone away who's like, oh, I want to try it. I'm like, definitely, let's try it. Do a free thing. But just being true to yourself.
That's true.
I don't know. That's the person who said that's a really successful coach too. So she can afford to turn people away, I guess. But it's just a different way to look at it. Like you want people that are ready to start on their fitness journey.
But the truth is, are any of us really ready? Like I had no clue what I was doing with 8-day obsession. Like I heard, I just had a feeling that it was going to be like something big, and I was frustrated from my medical assistant jobs and my Crohn's not working properly. So I was like, you know what? Screw it. I'm starting all over this year. Like I'm getting my business going. I'm getting myself going, because I also found out too that 21 Day Fix was like the only program I did, but I found out that I like kind of did it wrong. Like I didn't realize that there was the calendar and stuff. So it was like, oh, it's Monday, I'll do my legs. Oh, it's Tuesday, I guess I'll do my abs. So like I wasn't technically following it properly either. So this is kind of like my first official like give it a go program, and I kind of just like went for it. I didn't even know if I could do 80 days. Meanwhile,
Yeah.
I just looked at my mule kicks from the first week and I was like, yeah, what is that? You know? So I feel, so like, that's why I feel like too, if someone's like, yeah, I'll try, like, okay, that's good, you know, you can try.
Yeah, that's a good point.
If
That's
I
a
could
good
go back really quick to like we were talking about, like kind of not necessarily like waiting, like only working with people who are like super into it. Lately, I felt like people are like, yeah, I'm excited. And then like I never hear from them. And what I've started doing is like, if they tell me like, yes, I'm interested, like I either won't put them in the group until they have actually ordered, or if I do put them in the group and like I reach back out to them on day like 1 or 2 and they haven't ordered, I'm like, you know, let's get, you know, you need to be doing this if you're going to be in the group. And then I'm like, okay, well, listen, I've got another group at the end of the month. I can just remove you from this group and put you in the next one. And I'm taking people out of groups.
Yeah.
I don't want them just hanging around, and like they need to realize that like this is serious.
I like that. I like that a lot.
What
I had someone say to me today, this is like her 5th or 6th time that she said, yeah, no, I'm definitely on board. Like, seriously, like we've had this circle a lot of times, and she keeps just wanting to do my Clean Week group for free. But I was like, I think it's time to, I'm like, oh, typically I only have people do Clean Week 1 or 2 times, and then we, let's go up to the next thing. And so I actually said to her today when she was like, yeah, no, I'm bored. I said, in a nice way, I was like, oh yeah, I know you said that before. So ... And I'm like, I don't know. I kind of threw it back at her like a little bit. I felt comfortable enough that if she walks away, she walks away. We've done this dance for like a year now. So I was like, we've said that before. So
I actually did that to somebody a couple of weeks ago, because like she's like, I don't feel like she's committed, and she and I like we chatted about it, and I'm like, if you really truly are serious and you have a good reason that you want to do this, like let's do this. But if you don't feel committed, and you don't maybe feel committed to yourself, and you don't really know why you're doing this, let's talk about it. And if it's not the right time, that's fine, and we can revisit it at any time. But if it's not the right time for you, then it's not the right time, and that's okay. And so she's like, it's been like a week, and so I'm like about to follow back up with her, but like I'd sent her a packet of Shakeology, and like she'd tried it. Anyway, it's just like, come on, people. Like I feel like I can't, it's like they tell you like not to drag your coaches along, like run with the runners and don't drag people behind you. But like same thing with challengers, like don't drag people along.
Well, if they're not responding to the gentle, easy, coaxing along at the beginning, like, oh, sure, join when you want, but they keep coming back and they say they do want it, well, maybe they are the type of person that responds better to a, hey, are we doing this or not? Mm-hmm. And if they don't, like, hopefully they're not offended, but some people respond really well to that, and that might be the kick they need to, like, get jump started, and then they'll thank you down the line because you tried the gentle approach for a while. Yeah.
What about okay, so basically I know we have like 5 minutes, a little more, but so basically I tried running my own challenge group in the app because since, again, no pun intended, but because like we're younger, they don't really use Facebook. It's more Instagram, and like they'll tell me like, oh, I don't have Facebook or something like that. So I'm on the app, and like no one logged a full week besides me. So like, but I'm in contact with most of them, and one of them was like, oh yeah, like she's in the process of a separation and all that, so she's like working on it. But another one, she was all excited. She was posting on Snapchat her shakes and all that, And then like she just completely went ghost on me. Like she doesn't answer my Snapchat. She says like her text messaging doesn't like it doesn't give off the noise or whatever. She probably broke her phone because she's one of those. But like so like it doesn't make the noise. So like I'm like just log it. But it's like she's not answering. So I feel like that's like my thing now. Like my coaches are going ghost on me.
I don't know. Maybe have you said to her like, hey, where are you? You ghosted.
Yes.
You did?
I'll go to comment on her stuff. I'll go to like message about like other stuff. And then I'll throw in like, hello, where are you? And she's playing Fortnite. Like, I mean, I know like I can't force anything on anyone, but she was like, I just feel like because she was so excited about it, she was like, oh my God, that sounds great. I can't wait. And I don't even think she downloaded the app.
I think and I've had that experience with a lot of people. It's like they feel like it's really cool when you're talking about it. And then when they realize they have to do the work, they're like, ooh, maybe not. And for me, it takes, and I think for anybody, it takes a lot of energy to continue to follow up with people who aren't responsive. And I think there's a point where you just have to let it go and like maybe check in with her once a week or once every couple of weeks, like, wean her off the check-ins. Like if she's not going to get back to you, don't spend your precious time and energy trying to, again, like drag her along.
I would agree with the weaning off the check-ins. I will sometimes do a week, and then if they don't respond to that, I go 2 or 3 weeks. And then after that, I go another month. And then it's like maybe a few months down the line, something's changed. But I'm not going to chase you every day or every other day. It's just too much time. And there's people that like maybe are waiting for you to reach out to them,
Right. Mm-hmm. Well, we've got like 2.5 minutes. Does anybody have anything they wanted to add? I don't know. Amber, I saw you like sort of looking like you were she might be off doing something with twins. Okay. Amber, if you're there. No. Okay. Amy or Christina, do you have anything else to add in last minute?
I feel like that's really it. Oh, but a good thing happened. You know how with Success Club, you get the people like that just randomly go on the website?
Yeah.
I got 2 of them, and I sent them emails, like, hey, I'm your coach. And one of them actually answered me.
Oh, that's good.
Awesome. I was like, usually people don't answer, so that's great.
Cool.
That's great. Sometimes those can end up being like they end up being like, oh, I like this, and then they upgrade, and that's awesome.
Getting there.
Awesome. Congratulations. That's really cool.
Thanks.
All right, guys. Well, thank you all so much for jumping on. I hope this was helpful, and thank you for your contributions. And I'm excited that we're all here and doing this. This seriously makes my week. It's great. So
yeah, definitely. Thank you, Alana.
Absolutely. My pleasure. So yes, same time, same place next week.
All right.
Someone just remind me because I forget, and then it's like,
Alana, question. Can we reuse the same Zoom links over and over again?
Yeah, I think it is the same link.
Oh, it is. Oh, all right. Well, never mind then.
Possibly.
Cool.
We'll see.
Yeah. I was just curious, if we could just have an ongoing link that we just, because I think the Diamond Call is the same link. And I was like, oh, maybe we just save one. I don't know.
We'll try. We'll try next week. I'll try and use it. Okay.
All right. Bye.
Have a good night. Bye.